up, guys? This is Ashley Nicole, and I'm here with Mentoring Business, back with another episode from Geek Plus magazine. And I'm sitting here with the lovely Mrs. Monique Burks. How are you today?
Hey, Queen, how you doing?
I'm good. It's so good to not only see you, but to be back with you, to go ahead and get what we tried to do a long time ago back here on this platform. So how are you today?
Queen, I'm doing good. I can honestly say I'm doing good. I'm blessed.
Yes.
I'm here.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So considering everything that's going on right now with the pandemic and George Floyd and, you know, all of that, hey, I'm here.
Man.
And I'm proud to be a black woman.
Come on, black women.
Okay.
Queen. That's all this one does. Queen.
Yes.
Black women, the support that you give, the energy that you give, what you have fed us, you know, and when I say us, I mean our platform, our audience, just from day one, we appreciate that much. Because that shows that, you know, you're not only that you're growing, but you're helping us grow. Oh, yeah. And it just shows the unity that people really don't get to see out there in the entrepreneur world. But we thank you for that energy.
Queen, you're so welcome. Yes.
So let's just jump right into it. This is, of course, like she said, the pandemic. This is 2020. And I promise you, so much stuff has happened since, you know, September, to where we can just really sit down here and talk about everything, but we're going to just jump into what we know is the most important, and that's entrepreneurship. So how long have you been an entrepreneur? Tell us about the book that you did, of course, right, and the name and where we can actually get it.
Okay, well, my book is Heavy as the Crown, and I actually dropped that book last year.
Okay.
And it's my very first book. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, Queens King, let me tell y'all something. I was not thinking or even remotely thinking to do a book or write a book or become an author. That was nothing that I was thinking about. But I tell you this much, when you have something happen to you in your life,
yes,
when you have to, because I always tell people, you don't go through things, you grow through.
Okay.
And that's just the way I look at things, because I feel that growth is for you to go out there and help someone else with that particular incident or issue that you had to grow through. But for me, losing my mother in 2014, turning around and losing my brother in 2017, I spiraled out of control. Cause see, everybody think they strong. Everybody think that, you know, they can grow through anything. When you lose your mother and you turn around and lose your brother, no more than 2 years later, and it was just a lot for me. So I plummeted for a while. I went from the happy-go-lucky queen that you see right now to someone who was just in a corner.
I can see that.
In a dark place. I can see that. Just mean, rude. I mean, and it really wasn't towards people who I didn't know. I was breaking my king down. I took, and you know, a lot of women won't say this, but I'm okay with saying it, because I broke him down. Like, he did not know how to get through to me. And that's very rare. Yeah. Because my husband is the coach, you know, and things like that. So he normally knows how to get through to people. But considering what happened to me, I was unbreakable. It took a moment to where I love my husband so much that he never cries. I saw him cry. And he told me, babe, I don't know what to do. And it was from that moment that I decided to go seek counseling. Now, you know, normally that's cliche. You know,
in the black community,
it's real cliche.
It's very cliche.
Yeah, we don't go see, you know, nobody, because we feel like we got to pray through everything. Okay, I love the Lord just like the next person, but I'm going to keep it 100. Yes. I needed more than prayer.
Exactly.
Because I had something going on with me that I didn't realize was going on with me. And it was just, I didn't know how to deal with that death.
Well, thank God you got through. Well, not even got through that, but you just was aware that you needed to seek that.
Yeah.
To seek, like, some people just are blinded and they wallow and they sit.
Oh, yeah.
But you actually took recognition and said, hey, I know I need help. I know I need that, you know, person that I can talk to, that therapy, that just that extra that, you know, people don't really want to recognize. So kudos to you to even see that, and to, you know, your husband for actually, you know, staying and recognizing that in you.
Yeah.
So,
because I don't really know too many people who would, and whenever I tell this story, I say I don't know anybody, a man, if they had to endure, because only my husband can tell you from his side what I was lashing out at him. you got to really love your wife
Yes.
to want to be with her, not cheat on her, not do anything crazy. He stayed grounded. And through all of that pain that I had to endure, what happened, how the book was birthed, is that I went to Atlanta and I went to a conference. And it was, it was fun. I had a great time. I was dealing with a lot of different women, and we were all getting to know each other. And I had been in this particular, they're called Grindation. I had been in it for a while, and it was, but we were called, the branch was called G Women.
Gotcha.
So we had a great time. Everything was good. And so what happened is at the end of the conference, they have a ceremony.
I remember this one.
Okay, yeah, I know you probably remember. So they have a ceremony. So, everybody was like, Mo, where you at? They was calling me like, because I was kind of late, because we was out. We was out in the city a little bit, and everybody was texting me up saying, hey, where you at? And I'm like, I'm coming. So I get there, and they have this award that they call the G Woman of the Year. And it was the very first time that they ever gave this award away.
Oh, okay.
So, they was the young lady was up there, and she was talking about everything, and giving all the accolades and making. I'm sitting up and looking around like, I know who's finna get that, blah, blah. I'm just sitting there. And then all of a sudden they said, Monique Burks.
Like, it's somebody else in her name.
And I was like.
That is amazing.
It just took, I was like,
Yeah.
I fell over in my seat. I started crying.
Oh.
And my husband was like, let's go, baby. Let's go. Cause
you know Bird. You know what that sounded like, what it looked like.
Yeah, if you know my husband, And it was like, I just cried. Because I know I had been through so much. And I was like, all of these queens in this room that they could have chose with their master's degrees and been doing entrepreneur a whole lot longer than me, they chose me. And she told me, she said, the reason I chose you, Mo, she said, it's because of your resilience and your rawness. And she said, you get knocked down.
It's for you.
And she said, you'll try something, and if it fails, she said, you'll keep doing it again. She said, you'll come back doing something else. And she said, that is why I chose you. And that was the turning point for me. So on my way home, my husband, he was like, okay, so you don't want Woman of the Year, what you gonna do?
Exactly. What's the next step?
And I wasn't even thinking about it. So on my way home in the car, we just started mapping out, and EmpowerHer was birthed. And then at the end of that, he was like, now it's time for you to write a book. And I was like, write a book? And he was like, yes, baby, it's time for you to write about all that pain. And I fought him tooth and nail about that because I just didn't want to do that. I just didn't want to keep reliving it. But
that helped you really, I would think. I'm not, I'm like her, I'm not a writer either, but I would think that would help you release some of that.
And it did. It did, because as I wrote each chapter, I think the hardest chapter was talking about my mom, and I had to relive all of that. But then in the midst of reliving all of that, it was like I exhaled.
Yeah, and it helped you through it, and it's gonna definitely help someone else through it.
Yeah, most definitely.
So thinking about yourself and being a queen and empowering her and all of these things that just kind of transpire, believe me, you're helping the next woman out there that may or may not feel that they can get through that.
And that's really what the EmpowerHer is about. That's what the book is about. It's literally about helping queens get through their go-through. Like literally, and it does not have to be death. It could be you had a bad relationship. It could be anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just like, how we as women, we can get in a funk. And we just act like we can't get out of it.
Exactly.
We go to the wrong people for advice, and we just lose it.
There you go with that, wrong people for advice. So, would you allow someone that's not in your industry kind of coach you in business? Someone that may not do what you do?
No.
Well, why or why not? Why or not?
For me, I'm going to say, like I said, no, because if you haven't been in this industry and you haven't even remotely been close to doing anything of what I'm doing, how are you going to coach me? How are you going to help me, with my business?
Gotcha.
Like, if you got business savvy, I might allow you. Like, if you built a business from the ground up and you're good at that,
Gotcha.
Then okay, I'm with it. I'm okay with allowing.
Even if you're not in my industry, I would still probably.
Then I'm
allow
okay.
that.
So let's just say if it's like that. But if you're just out here just trying to like kind of do your thing and trying to get in where you fit in, no, that's not gonna work.
And the reason why I asked that question is because I have had some people that are in, when you think about the mentoring business period, that they ask those type of questions because, and it probably is none, or it might be relatable relatable, but as far as school, when you think about the teacher might not be a doctor, but they have the knowledge to teach you about being a doctor.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird because you're like, your professors may have never had that job,
Right.
may have never had that, been in that industry, but yet they still are teaching from a book. They have the knowledge to do what they need to do. And then you look at it from that perspective and you're just like, okay, I get it. But I'm like you, because entrepreneurship is about experience.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that experience, if you don't have those, small things that I need to pull from and resources,
Yeah.
then
Most
honestly,
resources.
then I really can't see where you're actually able to tell me. I'll take anybody's perspective or anybody's, what they think.
It's okay,
Yes.
but not when it's dealing with entrepreneurship.
No.
I'm just saying that's just for me. I feel it's a double-edged sword.
Yes.
I'm gonna look at it like that because I did say no, but then when we reworded their question, I was like, okay, if they got business savvy and they know some things about business, then I might take a little, of what they say into consideration. But as far as being a full-time entrepreneur, you don't have no side gig, this is your hustle, yeah, you gotta be in that game with me. We kind of gotta be in that game together.
Yeah, because I just kind of feel like, you're just gonna give what you think or what you've heard versus what we are going through.
Right.
Then it's just a totally different thing.
Because everybody can talk, okay? But if you literally had to grow through it, that's a totally different thing. Because to me, you have to get me with your words. You can't all of that other stuff. That's just that parade and everybody suiting and booted and showing up. That's not gonna work.
And then I'm thinking about more of the action because I want to see the experience. I want to know how you handle it. Did you slap them? Did you cuss them out?
Right.
Did you beat them up? Did you go there? Did you not go there?
Exactly. Exactly.
So what do you think the difference between collaboration and sponsorship is?
Collabing, I would say collaboration is like you're getting with someone. Once again, we're going to talk about in the entrepreneur realm, and they're pretty much doing what you're doing. And so, because I've done a lot of conferences, and I've had women have had come to what I was doing, and I went and spoke where they were, at their conferences. And so that's just us getting together with the same idea. We have we might not be all together, but we have the same ideas and we're going in the same direction.
And you can feed each other.
And we can feed off of each other. So the collabing, that's kind of how I look at collabing. And I'm sorry, the second part was?
The sponsorship.
Sponsorships are more like, just people coming in, and I might be wrong, but I'm still looking at the way I'm telling you, this is one thing about this queen you're going to learn. This is the way I look at it.
Yeah, and now we need that experience. We need that perspective.
Right, and when I've dealt with sponsorships, that's just folks, half of them are just coming in throwing coins at you. They just throwing money at you. They want to be on your backdrop. They want to be in your goodie bag. It's things like that, but they literally don't have anything to do with your industry.
Yeah, definitely the exposure. And that's cool because that's what we need sometimes anyway.
Yeah.
But it's cool to have both, of course, especially during entrepreneurship, especially during this pandemic. Like, if I'm going to be on a virtual platform all day long, I want you to kind of come in and be on my virtual platform or vice versa. It's like, might as well collaborate and get sponsorship out of it as well.
Exactly.
So I appreciate those answers. Those are the type of things that people really don't look at when it comes down to entrepreneurship. They just kind of see the give and take, but never knowing that we are collaborating,
True.
We are trying to get these sponsorships for, like you see, you have a podcast coming up, which let's talk about that. So what made you kind of go into the podcast? Like, what made you want to do that? Because that is a different world.
Okay, now once again, see, this is one thing y'all gonna learn about me.
See?
I wasn't thinking about doing no podcast. Okay, I wasn't trying to do that. But you know what it is? It's so crazy when you running in these different places and you meet these different people. This was actually a young lady who said I inspired her.
Okay.
And I was like, I said, girl, don't start making me cry. You're gonna make my Maybelline. I'm gonna make my Maybelline come off. But I'm just saying. But she called me. She told me she had a project. She's actually out of Atlanta.
Okay.
So she's not even in Dallas. She's actually out of Atlanta. And she told me, she said, hey, I remember something that you told me. And I was like, okay, girl, what is it? And she was like, you told me one time, you said that I'm out here doing this for everybody else. And I'm breaking my back for everybody else. And I know how to do this. But so why am I doing it? And you told me, you said, why are you doing this for everybody else when you know how to do it? And she said, a bell went off in her head, and she said, I just looked at what you accomplished in less than a year, because everything that I did, book and all that stuff, that was done in less than a year. It was literally done in less than 4 months.
Yeah.
It was 4 months writing the book and everything. And so what she's doing is she's starting a radio station.
Okay.
So she
she's
knows
starting a radio station.
so she knows the ins and outs of a radio station, but hers is of course going to be on the internet because everything is digital now. So she's going to have an internet radio station.
Good. That's nothing wrong
And
with
she
that.
told me, she said, the very first person that I thought about was you. She said, because I just feel like you could do this. She said, I know you've never done it. She said, but I just feel you could do it. So it was crazy. I was like, girl, I said, listen now. And it was funny because Burks was walking by. My husband's always walking by. He heard the conversation. And so I say, okay, well, just give me a few minutes to think about that. Give me a little time to think about that. I get off the phone. My husband's like, what is there to think about?
That's it.
And he was like, no, what I need you to do is call her back and just let her know you're going to do it and we're going to work through it. And I was like, now that's my husband, y'all. That's my husband. That's how
He just takes the cake. He takes that purpose in you and he pushes that.
Oh yeah.
That's what I know. I love. That's what I gravitate to.
No, you're right.
Meeting
You're
him.
so right.
He takes the purpose and he's like, okay, look, let's go with it. But then that's his job. That's his coaching. That's what he does. But that's amazing. The fact that someone else saw that in you and they're like, hey, I want you to do this, I want you to do that because of the fact that you bring that out of me. So I want to help bring, the podcast out. And what's the name of it going to be? If you can tell us.
Yeah. You go, Queen. Queen was over there somewhere.
I know. That's why I was like, I wanted them to hear what it was called because it's like she wears this invisible crown, obviously, that, we see on so many levels. But then again, that's what brings your energy. So I love that about you, So even though that young lady said that you inspire her, that you motivate her, that's what you do for me too. So there's no way I wouldn't have had you on Geek Plus no, we have got to know. Oh, bring her back a couple of times. No, we appreciate that. So right now, like you said, you have accomplished so much within a year. You have done things and had that push, the story behind it all. What advice can you give another young lady, like myself, like the other young lady that you met, like those young ladies that surprised you out of a sea full of other ladies? After all of this, what can you give? What can you just say something that would be resourceful and that would motivate and encourage us for the next level?
Stop second guessing yourself.
Oh, amazing.
And do it. Like literally, like when people always ask me about my story, I just did it. I sidebarred everybody. I didn't care what you were saying. I did it. Because when you come from a queen like my mom,
yeah,
hey,
let's get it. Give it to us, somebody.
I need my makeup.
Yes.
When you come from a queen like my mother, everybody called my mama Miss Roberts. So everybody knew that's my maiden name, Roberts. Everybody knew my mother. Mm-hmm. And there was nothing that my mama didn't do. Mm-hmm. And she wore many hats. Mm-hmm. And when I think something wasn't gonna happen, my mama made it happen. And there was always that one thing she always told me. My mother called me Monica. And she was like, Monica, I need you to do it. Whatever it is. I want you to do what you want. I want you to be what you want. And I don't want you to let nobody tell you what you can't do. Mm-hmm. And that's literally what my advice to any of these queens out here. Just do it. Yeah. Stop listening to this. Stop listening to people doing this. Because half of those people who are in your ears, they wish that they were where you are. Mm-hmm. Literally, they wish that they were where you are, but they don't have it. They don't have it. So they're too busy doing this and trying to pull you down and make you feel like you can't do it. Like I shut everybody out. The only person I listen to is my husband because he's a coach and that's just what he does. And so when I had my doubts, right, yeah. And so when I had my doubts and I was like, babe, I can't do this. He was like, and I'm being 100. I said that I can't do it. I don't feel like I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. He was like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And that's what it's all. You if you got a bomb idea in your head, and you can get that cracking, get it jumping.
Even if you don't even think it's the moment.
Yeah, even if you don't
confident.
think it. Just do it. And that's the same thing with the podcast. Y'all just heard me. I wasn't about doing no podcast. I wasn't about writing no book. Okay? So it's just like, you just gotta do it. Yeah. And I'm almost finished with my interviews and everything. So I'm super excited about that. And I can't wait till it drops in August. Because it drops in August.
Beautiful. I just appreciate that part of it is the confidence. Because that's what you bring. And that's what I know that you're going to deliver to somebody else. So I would hope anybody that's looking at this and seeing this and they can say, what you would take. I would hope that they would take that from you. Because your confidence is what it just leaks over into us. And as an entrepreneur, as an artist, We need that. We need that encouragement. We need that at all times. So when you bring that every single time, like I think about that and I'm like, okay, like I just, you know, you gravitate to it. So thank you for always for that. That's amazing. Well, we're about to get out, but we always play a good game. We try to.
Oh,
and this is just a Geeks or That game, not anything that's just off the wall. It's not going to be too hard. I'm just going to throw out a phrase or a word. I'm going to keep it simple. Okay. And you just kind of come back and give me, you know, what thus said the Lord. Just kind of give me what you know.
Okay.
So I'll start off small. Dr. Pepper or root beer?
Root beer.
Okay.
Root beer.
Okay. Okay. Aretha or Patty?
Patty.
I think she's saying that because Aretha did. I think she's saying that because Aretha. Yeah, I think she's trying to.
I love the Queen of Soul. Don't get me wrong, but only reason I gravitate more to Patty than I do Aretha is because my mama was a big time Patty fan.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. I understood that one. Okay. You probably don't. I'll try it anyways. Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich or Popeye's chicken sandwich?
Chick-fil-A. Let me tell you something, man. My house is divided because my husband loves Popeyes. He swear by the Popeyes sandwich, and I'm like, no, Chick-fil-A.
I swear, I like both of them, but I was like Chick-fil-A.
I'm a Chick-fil-A queen.
Yeah, that one go wrong. Last one. I try to keep it simple, but sometimes it's so hard. I'll go back to music since I know she loves music.
Yes.
Okay. Loretta Devine or. Dang, it's so hard for me to say that lady's name. The mama from Tina Turner. We gonna come back with her name.
Yeah,
later.
I forgot. I know what you're talking about.
I know, I forgot. But which one?
It's the chick from Tina Turner. Cause that chick is bad. She reminds me of a real mom. Like a real mom.
We gonna get her name, guys. She gonna kill me if I ever see her. God, dog, she gonna kill me. That's all right. That's okay. But you played in so many roles. I mean, God.
Yeah, she has.
You just everybody's mama.
Everybody's
mama. Okay. That's our game, guys. We want to thank Miss Monique Burks for coming in to even talk with us, for even being with us, for just crowning us all the time, giving us her energy. You guys, please. Oh, well, that's what I need to ask you. Please, how can we follow you? How can we stay in touch?
Oh, okay. Hey, well, first of all, I'm excited because when I Google my name, it's real up in there. But you can find me at MoniqueBurks.com. You can find me at IamMoniqueBurks.com.
Okay.
Don't you hear that? That's all that branding from my husband.
Okay.
So you can find me any two of those ways. IamMoniqueBurks.com or either MoniqueBurks.com. I just keep it simple.
Beautiful. We love that, and we'll make sure that we put that inside the video as well, so you guys can not only check her out on IG, but on her website as well. And always, guys, at Geek Plus Magazine, we are thinking forward and innovating life. And this has been another episode of Mentoring Business, and we are peacing out, guys.
You gave me this beating, baby, this rhythm inside.